The Torah Balak, page Ayin Aleph, Ois Gimel. Okay, the last thing the Rebbe was explaining is that there are the mitzvahs and then you have tefillah. So tefillah says like the spine, it's not one of the limbs, but that basically holds up all the limbs from the whole body. And he says, what are Eivarim, what are the limbs? Those are the vessels for the power of the neshama to be revealed and function in the body. So that's the same thing. Mitzvahs are the Eivarim, the limbs that allow Hashem to function in the world. So he says, V'hinei, nice gimel, skipping that whole brackets. V'hinei, chaychel yisanal, the 18 vertebrae, hem kelim pnimim. Our internal vessels, that means functioning vessels, and from there it goes out into the other external vessels, and all of them together. Now the spine is, so to speak, one of the most vital things in the body. It connects the brain to the rest of it. God forbid you can become paralyzed. So the 18 vertebrae, that's the primary functioning of the body, and then you have the external levels. And altogether it equals 248. Sheinamach mitzvah sasek, which are the 248 positive mitzvah called Eivarim de Malka, which are called the limbs of the king in Zoyar. Why? Because they're Eivarim v'kelim namshachas ha'od. V'zeu inyan aniske le'il. This is the inyan that he said before. Shamitzvah tzrichas kavana. Mitzvahs need kavana. And what is the kavanah? The Rebbe explained before, what is the kavanah of the mitzvah, the primary intent of the mitzvah? That is davening. Because again, what's the intent of a mitzvah? The intent of a mitzvah is, I'm doing it, I'm subjugating myself to Hashem, to be able to bring the revelation of godliness back into the world. Yeah, that's exactly what tefillah is all about. Tefillah is godless hakel, the greatness of Hashem and the lowness of man. What?
The Shemona is the bracha that is more significant or than the other bracha.
The first bracha Shemona is most significant. If you don't have kavanah, what it means, you have to daven. I mean, technically you'd have to daven again, but nowadays we don't do it anyway. What's the Indian? Why is davening the general kavanah for all mitzvahs? We say we say when we make a bracha Hashem sanctified us. Shaydei ha-mitzvahs mamshichim gili b'chinas kedusha al-yena. What do you mean Asher kedushanu b'mitzvahs? Hashem is making us holy. Now what does that mean holy? We're getting the kedusha from all the way up there, because mitzvahs connect to the essence of Hashem. And we bring it down the mata. We're bringing it down all the way down here. That's what we say. Asher kidshanu b'mitzvaysav. Hashem is sanctifying us with the holy, from the ultimately holy levels, and we're bringing it down all the way. Therefore, we need kavana. Why do we need kavana? The mitzvah itself, the action of the mitzvah, is the actual vessel. Kavana, what is the intent of the mitzvah? Bringing or b'teicha keli. In other words, like this, the mitzvah is the limb. The mitzvah is the physical limb. But now you need to bring down the functioning of the limb. You can have physical limb, you still have to bring down the power of the neshama in it to function. So the action of the mitzvah, that's the limb. But now you need the elokus to come down into that limb, right? So he said, this generally speaking is tefillah. Why? That's the kavanah. Because in davening, through davening, comes the general revelation of godliness, comes through davening. Because what is davening? Davening is the Jew preparing themselves, milmata l'mayla, from lower to higher. That's what davening is. Learning Torah, we learn. When you study Torah, you're bringing God's wisdom into your own head. That's godliness coming down. But in order to be the vessel for godliness coming down, you need to have the fuel. You need to have the refinement of the person. That's the brachas of Shemoneh Baruch Ata Hashem Shamamshichem Li'ez Baruch. What, like we said, we're bringing down Ata, earnings of Mamish, the essence of Hashem, V'hainu Aidei Shem Avaya, through the level of Avaya, and then Aidei Kiyama Mitzvahs Kol HaYom, by doing mitzvahs the whole day, Mamshichem Ar Befrat, Lislabish B'mitzvah Pratis. It says like this, davening is bringing down Elokus, godliness down here, in a general way. Then mitzvahs, the rest of the day, you have this limb and this limb and this limb, this mitzvah, this mitzvah, this mitzvah. But the introduction, so to speak, or the prerequisite for bringing godliness into mitzvah is first bringing it down through davening. When you daven, so then you're generally bringing Elokus down. And then when you bring it into the particular mitzvah, you do a particular mitzvah, then you're bringing that level of godliness that you brought down through tefillah by making a vessel of yourself through davening, and then it comes into the mitzvah.
Could you analyze that through mitzvah that let's say I am giving this at that time, what I am
at that time, your hand is becoming what's the expression in Tanya is Merkava, a chariot, meaning completely nullified to Chesed of Atzilus. Okay? When you do tefillin, so you're binding your mind and heart to Hashem, right? So then you're refining your mind and heart. So there's a general bracha, there's a bracha we do before, by tzedakah there's no bracha for whatever reasons. But other mitzvahs there's a bracha, because then you're bringing down the detailed kedusha. But the general kedusha that we're bringing down, that is the concept of davening. Davening is the meditation into the greatness of Hashem, the lowness of man. So then that itself is the kavanah that's bringing it down. Now you bring it down into the details. That's the general life. To give an example, when the soul gives life to the body, there's two types of life the soul gives to the body. The soul comes into a body, the person's alive. That's number one. The head is not more alive than the foot is not less alive than the head. So chayis kloli, it's called. In general life, the person is alive. After that, then you have the detailed life of the soul. This can see, and this could think, and this could talk, and this could smell, and this could write, and this could walk. That's already stage 2. First you need stage 1, the person has to be alive. After you're alive, then you can function in talking, thinking, walking, whatever it may be. So the same thing, tefillah is like the general chayes, the general life that comes down through prayer, that we're davening, and what happens is, now we're a vessel for godliness to come down. Then we have to bring it down into a functioning fashion, not the general life. A functioning fashion that we do this mitzvah, this mitzvah. This mitzvah is a certain limb of God that brings down this level of godliness. This mitzvah is a different limb that brings down a different, just like the eye brings down from the soul the power of sight, and the mouth brings down the power of talking.
What makes one davening accepted? The other one. What makes the case one? Someone has this one case. His davening is acceptable. Right?
The vessel for davening close your phone a second.
He can agree with it. He can second the motion, and that gives the measure that his wife or his daughter made.
Okay. The vessel for Hashem's bracha is the serious realization that it's not me, it's Hashem doing it. Which, if you analyze that in the broad term, is the greatness of Hashem and the lowness of man. The proper keli, the proper vessel for davening, is realization that I'm asking Hashem to sustain me. Therefore, if I'm asking Hashem to sustain me, right, I realize He's the one that does it, then if that's the case, I need to become a vessel to be fit to accept that sustenance. That is definitely the concept in simple English of doing what Hashem wants. We're asking Hashem to give us health, wealth, power, everything, yeah? So we're asking God, give me, what am I giving in return? You can't be a taker, you got to be a giver, right? In life, if you're a taker, it's no good. You have to be a giver. So we're asking Hashem to give. So you can't only be a taker. What are you doing in reciprocating? So that's the concept of mitzvahs. But what's unique, one second, what's unique is, if I give, seemingly I'm doing you a favor. Right? But realistically, I'm only doing myself a favor. The Gemara has an expression, the poor man does more for the rich man than the rich man does for the poor man. The rich man gives him tzedakah. Yeah? So what did he give him? He gave him $1, $10, whatever it is. The poor man gave him the opportunity to do a mitzvah. That's infinite. So in essence, the poor man does more for the rich man than the rich man does for the poor man. So you want to know what allows tefillah to be accepted? That is when we're making a vessel with the realization it's Hashem's bracha, it's Hashem giving it to me. Therefore, in order for me to be able to receive Hashem's blessing, I have to make a vessel for it, which is doing what Hashem wants. It's very simple. Why should I do what you want if you don't do what I want? But the difference is, by us, there's a me and there's a you. By Hashem, we're doing it, we're not doing God a favor when we do mitzvahs. It's another retarded, let's say the word retarded. What? This concept of halal, the realization that Hashem is the one that gives it to me. That opens the channel that Hashem gives it to you.
We come to the shul and we daven, and this, that. But somebody, a mother, or somebody with a broken heart, 1 second is accepted.
Because if you're talking about connecting to Hashem, who is above time and place, it's not a question of time and place. It's not an hour versus 1 second. It's making the vessel. Even in Shulchan Aruch it says, for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, it says, who should you take for a chazan? The person has a family that needs to support, and he doesn't have a lot of money, and he really davens, he means it. Yeah? A rich man, very rich man says, okay, Hashem, give me money. He doesn't mean it. He said, what I need, I have the money. I don't need Hashem to give me money. There's a famous story. A guy came to the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem said, can I help you? He said, no, I don't need your help. I just came there. You should have not. Anyway, the Baal Shem Tov told him the story that the guy was in pretty bad shape. You know what I mean? And that he really needed the big bracha from the Baal Shem Tov. So, now, even great tzaddikim, like Rabbi Chanina ben Dosa, who was the miracle worker with davening and all that, and he was able to tell if the person's going to live and the person's going to die. We mentioned a few weeks ago in Pirkei Avos. If he's going to live or going to die. And they asked him, how do you know? So he said, if my davening was fluent, I knew the person was going to live because I knew Hashem accepted it. If my tefillah wasn't fluent, I knew Hashem didn't accept it. That's one answer. Another answer is Hashem always accepts our prayers. Always. But sometimes the answer is no. Just because I ask for something, okay, it doesn't mean, it's a very simple mashal. A kid says to his father or mother, they want something. Yeah? And the father, knowing that it's not good for the kid to have it, right? So the father or mother will say no. If they're decent parents. If they're crazy parents, they'll say, yeah, and they raise monsters. Right? But if a parent knows this is not good for the kid, the parent will say no. So as far as the kid's mind, the parents didn't fulfill my request. They're mean. They're cruel. They're evil. Because they didn't give me what I wanted. Right? Just wake up to the world, right? We were kids at one time too. Yeah, I mean, even now we act that way. But the reality is Hashem answers everybody's tefillah. Hashem said, I want this. Hashem, give me this. Hashem said, you know something? I'm your father. Father knows best. I know what's good for you. I know what's not good for you. And I'm answering no because I love you. Not because I'm mean and cruel. Because I love you, that's why I'm not giving it to you. So who says that prayers are not answered? No, seriously. Think about it. When a Jew davens to Hashem, Hashem answers us. Sometimes the answer is not what we want to hear, because Hashem knows better. What's better for me and you? And then we know what's better for me and you. Another reason could be because the person didn't make a keli. So yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so I hear you, but that's it.
Only way to make the keli is to be a cultist.
You should let me tell you something. We saw this by the Rebbe, and when you ask the Rebbe a question and you really meant it, you got an answer. Not necessarily what you wanted, but the Rebbe answered you. When you meant it, something really bothered you, but something touched you, you got answered.
You still do.
Still do.
Sometimes the Rebbe didn't answer.
What?
Sometimes the Rebbe didn't answer.
Maybe because the answer is no. Maybe because you didn't ask properly. Why should I do it?
What is a proper ask? What do you do proper ask?
I told you, the realization that it's coming from Hashem and I need to make a vessel. If I'm asking for a bracha, just think about it. We're asking Hashem to give me. What am I giving Him? That's all very simple. It's not rocket scientist. I'm asking God for A, B, C, D, 18 brachas and 19 brachas shmanas. I'm asking God, I want health, wealth, everything good thing, huh? So God said, okay, now what are you giving? It's a cruel statement. By people, we say, what's in it for me? There's people saying, what's in it for me? By Hashem, it's the opposite. When you do a mitzvah, that's in for you, not for me. See, that's the difference. Hashem doesn't say, I'm not going to give you, but yes, what's in it for me? So you ask me for something, okay, what's in it for me? But Hashem doesn't work that way, because what's in it for me it's not for Hashem. When Hashem tells us to do a mitzvah, it's not because He says, hey, look at this sucker, he listened to me. How many more suckers do we need? For the minion. Remember him? Anyway, so it's our benefit. It's not when it's what's in it. Hashem doesn't say what's in it for me. Hashem said, I'm asking you, you want something from me? All I'm asking is for you to make a vessel which is beneficial for you, not for me. But we are ruach shtus. We have this foolishness within us, and we don't look at life that way, and that's what we think. And then we say, why doesn't God answer my prayers? First of all, maybe He does. And the answer is no. But maybe, what are you giving me? What are you giving? And it's God, and it's remarkable. Hashem said, what are you giving me? It's not giving me. What are you doing better for yourself?